And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster, and I am here to touch base with you as I do every single day, either here on YouTube, Instagram. Today is a great day. Today is Wisdom Wednesday. So, you know what that means? That means we have guests on that are going to inspire us, encourage us, and we get to learn how they do what they do so that way it can inspire you to do what you do. And so yeah, I'm excited. Let's also, hey, let's say hello to some folks. Let's say hello. And Paro's in the building. Paro, how you doing? Good morning. Omar is in the building. Omar Ramos is here. Hannah, nice to see you, my dear. Hannah is in the building as well. We're gonna get some. Serena, what's going on, Serena? So good. This audience is popping in like popcorn. Yes, we are here. And so excited. So excited. We have a special guest, Marvin Bowser. Oh man, what an incredible dude. I met Marvin during our cafe exhibition here in New York City on the east side of Harlem. And he's just such a cool dude. One of the people I highly respect. And so we're going to have him on in a moment. Just wanted to send some shout outs early. And then, but you know how we do on Wednesdays, we don't kind of like talk about politics like we normally do every other day. But today we're just going to dive in. Just going to get some more hellos in, and then we're just going to dive in. So how about this? I'm going to share with you one video that I think will kind of like show you some of the things that he's been doing. We're going to go to his website first, and then we're going to go to a incredible project he's been working on, and it's been an exhibition and has been an encouragement, I think, to the Black community and to people of all to kind of, if you are not Black, if you are of another culture, this will give you insight, so much insight, this exhibition that he's doing. Chrissy Corner is in the building. Chrissy's Corner. Okay, how about this? Let me put this I'm going to switch this up a little bit. I'm going to go to the website. So Marvin is many things. Marvin has been an actor, worked in theater, but on his website, if you ever go to his website, it's Marvin Bowser Photography. And let me just go straight to the homepage. And he does headshots. He does behind the scenes. He does events. He does all kinds of photography. He is not one that is in a box. He is not someone that is just does one thing, which follows my instinct of how I think about photography as well. I think as photographers, we are the eyes of the world. And so therefore we're here to showcase people through visual storytelling. This is some of his headshot portraits. Just beautiful work. And just love what he does. I'm going to pop in, just kind of share some of that. Great photos. And what else about Marvin? Marvin lives in DC, but he'll tell you more about that. And also, here's some of his event photography. Since we are both into event photography, we pretty much do the same things. But I love he is one of my inspirations. He's just learning of that. He's in the studio back in the back door right there in the back studio. But I love his work. I love him as a person. And so let me share with you something that we'll be talking about later. And this is, let me pop in and go back to the screen here. And hold on, I think here we go. Here we go. Oh, so sorry about that. I'm going through some pages here. And this is called the BlackHair, which is really cool as well. So we're going to be doing that. So anyway, without any further ado, let's bring on Marvin Bowser. on this. Here we go. What's going on, Marvin?
Hey, Ron, everybody. Hello, hello, hello from Washington, D.C. How's everybody doing?
It's so good to have you on here. When I was, when I started doing this YouTube live channel, you were one of the first people on the list. And I said, Marvin has got to come on. I got to have Marvin on. He doesn't realize how much I really love his work and you as a person. So,
Well, thanks for having me. I'm really, really, really happy to be here. And thank you for all the kind words. I really, really appreciate that. And I appreciate you. And I appreciate the amount of energy and effort and focus it takes to do a daily show, regardless of the format. So congratulations on that as well. Hey, Omar.
Our boy Omar is in the room. Yes, Omar is in the room. He definitely had to send you a shout out.
Yeah,
we're all on the same.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, this is your platform, sir. This is your day today.
Well, you mentioned the show that we did with Cafed in Harlem, celebrating Black possibilities.
Yes.
And there were 4 photographers in the room. 3 of them are on the call right now. And one moment that I still carry near to my heart is when the 4 of us were standing in front of Tao's exhibit talking about photography, and you said like we're creating beautiful images. I saw like you boil it all down, the 4 of us. We all approach it differently, using different techniques, using different equipment. And we were going through all those topics at a mile a minute, and we could have been there for days if they didn't turn out the lights. So that was wonderful.
Yeah, that was definitely an amazing exhibition. First of all, it was shout out to Cafed and Nelson Soto and all the folks that work with him. That was literally, I remember last year was our second time together, but the first year, Nelson reached out to me and said, "Hey, Ron, I want you to be a part of this event that I'm doing and an exhibition." And I had no idea that I would meet so many cool people in putting together such an amazing show. And so many people responded to our first exhibition. We had a great time. It was just, one of those moments in your life that you say, wow, I'm actually doing this. Right. But then not only I'm doing it, but I'm doing it with all of these cool people. And so again, Marvin, you were there 2 years in a row as well as myself. And again, shout out to Nelson and his team. And it's just remarkable of bringing photographers and creatives together. Nelson's also has an event going on right now on the East Side, so we'll plug that later on. But definitely, so this is how we start. So you've been warned. If you are on a deserted island, what food must you have if you could have it on this deserted island? You must have it.
Pineapples.
Yeah. Pineapples.
Ask me why.
Why?
Because pineapples go great with the roasted pig that I'm going to run down and catch and barbecue. That's why.
I did not expect that coming. That is so cool. Here's another question, sir. Tell us 3 facts about you that most people don't know.
I'm an Air Force veteran.
Did not know that.
I'm also a stained glass artist.
Get out.
Well, yeah, I haven't done it in years though, but I still like. There's some around the house still, but I have all that. So, it goes back to the fascination with color and light. So yes. Glass is like another medium for that. So it's kind of on the continuum with photography.
Oh, and what's your third?
My third thing. Oh, I had it and I lost it. Let's see. Oh, here. I used to be a automobile journalist too.
Wait,
Yeah, I used to do that.
You were an automobile journalist.
Yes.
Wow.
No, because I'm a car guy. I'm a car guy. So that was a way to do it. Get in and play with a lot of cars, see a lot of them, get an opportunity to drive a lot, and I got to take pictures of cars too. So
Ah. And now I see here, Elmar says, I was blessed to be in the room with such amazing artists. And he also said it was a great time with our time together. And so turning back the clock, we're going to turn back the clock, sir.
okay.
When was the first time in your life that you said, I like photography, or you picked up a camera and you were fascinated by this camera and you said, I am going to go out and be a photographer? I mean, I know that's a long line,
That's and
but the
that's
first
and
time
there's
it
different
happened.
milestones along that line too.
Exactly.
So I was exposed to photography from my father, who was exposed to it from his uncle. So my great uncle Duke, and that's not his name. That was his swagger, right? Duke had a Graflex. My father gave it to me, so I have this Graflex upstairs. Which is a big, cool, heavy thing that was like the Cadillac of like journalists used it then. It's like the Jimmy Olsen from Superman. Um, my father did like the family holiday pictures with his camera, and he always bought I shoot Nikon because he shoots Nikon, and he gave me all his stuff. So it's old, but it's that stuff is bulletproof, so it still works. More um, so I started with the Nikons, but I bought my first real camera, which was actually a Canon film camera, when I was stationed in Germany in the mid '80s. And I did a lot of traveling around, Europe, and I took a lot of travel pictures then. And then since then, I've had like every iteration of digital camera up to the modern DSLRs, and love my Canon. So I spent my professional career doing not anything related to this. I was active duty Air Force for 10 years. I worked for the Navy as a civilian for 6 years. And I was a defense contractor doing, system engineering, research and development, like big, crazy projects. And stepped away from that about, it's getting close to 7 years ago now. It's hard to believe. So,
Wow.
yeah, I was still a young man, and had some time to do what I really wanted to do, and deep dive into the creative side, and started acting, and started a photography business.
So you mean to tell me you started acting only 7 years ago?
Well, unless you count like high school play stuff, which is
Okay.
really well when I started, but I didn't do any. I went from high school plays till 7 years ago. Yeah.
Wow. And then did acting pull you into photography, or did photography pull you into acting, or they were just two beautiful entities and you said, I want to conquer both of them?
They were separate entities until some producer friends of mine called me and said that, Marvin, we know you're an actor. We want to create an opportunity for you to act, but right now we need a set photographer. So I'm like, okay. So I'll figure that out. So yeah, I showed up with my camera and took pictures on set, and I love a candid. I love a candid. So this is like kid in a candy store. It's like candids all day long, and they, you ever ask anybody, have you ever had a client of yours ask you if you gotten any good pictures?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I,
They always say that. They always say,
like,
make sure you get and if you can, there's some good
no,
pictures
no, no,
over
no.
here.
I mean, after you've been around their event and they ask you, have you gotten any good pictures?
Oh yeah, they do ask that also. Yeah,
Yeah,
they ask that.
but why are they asking you that?
They are usually asking because I think it's instinct. I think it's just something that they do. they're not sure if you're going to get the
I,
the big pictures, or I
I
think they just by habit.
I think that's part of it. So, but I've had that question put to me, and I think they're asking um, me that question because they didn't see me take any pictures. I'm like, right, because I'm good at it.
This, you know what? You bring up a good point. This happened to me last week at an event. I was photographing and I was, going through, shout out to Tavern community here in New York City. And I was photographing and they are like, did you, hey, that was a question. You just reminded me. Yes. And they did not see me moving around. And I mean, they saw me, periodically just to get from space to space. But I'm sure when they saw all the photos, they were like, how do you get all those photos?
Yep, yep. I
Because
mean,
literally we're flies on the wall, right? We are flies on the wall and we move stealthily through
right,
events.
right. I had another client, and we should move on. I had another client behind the scenes for a play, and she asked me that late, and and her tone is what caught me that time. I'm like, oh, she didn't see me. I realized with her that she didn't see me. Why? Because she was a writer director and she was busy directing her work, right? And I shouldn't be upsetting that. So when she saw the picture, she said, Marvin, you made us look like you're on Broadway. I'm like, your she had this beautiful cast, amazing wardrobe,
Uh-huh.
beautiful set and lighting design. It's like, yeah. I was like, you made you look like the quality of your work and your amazing team, But I did capture that, so it's like, you want to give me that credit, fine. But you know, uh, it was all there, and she didn't see me like upsetting anybody while everybody's working and at the top of their game.
You are what I call the real deal photographer for events. And that is, and that's why people hire us. If you have experience in this industry, it's really supposed to be almost seamless. Like, again, they don't see you, they don't know you're working, the guests, you're not intruding on the guests. Yeah, we just make it happen. Omar says because they had bad photographers. And this is true because some of my clients, they go, oh wow, I can't believe these photos. And then they think back to the other photographer that they had before me, and they go, oh wow. And here's another one. Anthony says, that's all part of being a photographic sniper.
Exactly. I've been accused of that too, right?
Yeah, being a photographic sniper. That's the best way to
Right.
describe it.
Right.
So Marvin, so you live in DC. Were you born and raised in DC, or you migrated to DC?
Fifth generation Washingtonian.
Really? And also, I do believe your sister is the mayor, or is still the mayor, or was the mayor of.
My sister is serving her third term as the mayor of Washington, D.C.
Want to make sure. I wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Wow!
Yeah.
Congratulations to your sister on that.
Thank
That's an
you.
achievement, especially in DC.
It's incredible.
DC's crazy.
It's an incredible achievement. A lot to do. I mean, and if you go down her list of accomplishments, I almost mentioned somebody. I'm not even going to mention it. I'm not going to think about them next. So let's move on. Yeah. But no, she's incredible. She's incredible. It's like she was born to do what she's doing, and yeah, she's really really amazing.
Yeah, but you know what? I think excellence must run in your family,
Oh,
because when I look at your resume and I look at what you do, I look how you know, how you observe the world, and you are very precise and you are very strategic in how you operate. You want things to be in order. You are, even when coming on here, you were like, hey, can we get together early so we can make sure things are working fine? I know Gwendolyn, who's in the audience, would have been like, oh, he could be my best friend. You would happen to be a Virgo.
no,
But
I I have a Capricorn.
You're a Capricorn, so and but yeah, that I think you really operate on a level of what's called excellence. You try your best, and I know throughout your work, excellence. You don't half step. Where did
Thanks.
that come from?
Um, um, I was going to ask you if you've met my parents. You have not, but
I haven't met your
both of
parents.
them are, you know, just uh, focused, hard charging, hard headed, determined people.
Mhm.
And you know, these commercials like you're going to turn to your parents. Well, my sister and I follow that mold like to a T from them, and my military background doesn't hurt that part.
Mm.
Nor and even the engineering. And I you know, I'm jumping ahead a bit, but I make the comment with the show we just that we're promoting now, BlackHair, that I didn't do that for this show, but
Yes.
people have commented that the result looks like everything's been done so precisely. But I actually used a very organic, natural process and let things happen more so
Mm.
BlackHair than really anything I've done before.
I mean, you really, I am can we just show you a gallery on this black hair, exhibition that you put together?
Absolutely.
It is so wonderful, and I know I won't get in trouble because you gave me permission to do so.
All right.
So here we go. This is check this out.
African queen. Can you get the audio from the video?
Let's see, can we get that?
Do not try me. I put a spell on you. Trapped. Haunting. Catharsis. Dreaming Jamaica. Unbreakable.
Mm.
Liberation. Tall Antoine. Adam's Eve. Adam. Falling free. We got you. Hypnotic. To the rescue. Yes, Lord. Mentor. Judas. Strong culture. Sunday morning. Ebony Oasis. Mon Bebe.
Mm.
The Red King. Gaze. Tall, beautiful, regal, free. Reunited. The court. Happily ever after. Momo Lisa's smile. Afro nymph. Blonde. Bright future. Tiger. Conrad. Orange comb. Tools. Pick.
Man, that how did you that is some exhibition. First of all, I had never I've been to a lot of exhibitions in New York City, Soho, Harlem, here in Brooklyn. I had never heard, I've never seen, and maybe I just haven't, uh, a topic of black hair. Where did that come from? Where were you like on a beach and the idea came to you? How did this how did you get that seed planted in your head to begin to create this amazing exhibition?
Thank you for that question. I sat with it. I had a date for an opening, and I wanted to do something that was so beautiful, um, celebrated Black people, our beauty, our culture. Um, I wanted to basically give the Black people, our culture, a warm hug,
Mm.
and with all of the weight that we carry, just getting through our day, I really wanted to create a moment of celebration. And I tried a few things out, like with myself. I did have a few conversations with people, and not like, what should I do? What should I do? But like where they at? Like, what are you thinking? Like, where what's your mindset? And culture, beauty, Black culture, Black beauty, uplifting. What about our culture? Which these are all like huge topics. So
Yes.
when I landed on BlackHair, I'm like, wow, BlackHair. And I physically had a tingle like through my body, and that's like, oh, so that hit a nerve with me. Um, and then I'm like, well, who else is working in this space? So I went to my
Mhm.
research resource called
Mhm.
Instagram and typed in BlackHair. And thousands and thousands and thousands of people are working in that space. And it's everything from products to styling to culture and beauty. And it's like, okay, so it's going to be a challenge to do something that's uniquely in my voice, right?
Mm.
And I'm a photographer. I'm not a stylist. I'm not a hairstylist.
Yes.
Right? So it's like that's gonna be interesting. So I'm like, but it's about if you're not challenging yourself, you're just wasting time, right? So so I took the challenge and I started the process with an open model call in the Great Hall of Union Station, Washington, D.C. Central Train Station.
Yes, that beautiful station. It is
Yeah.
gorgeous.
So open model call, and it was, let me see what interest is out there, and let me see who comes out for it, right? And I was just blown away. The number of people was less than I anticipated, which turned out
Mhm.
to be a blessing because the people who came out were wonderful, and I got to spend more time with them rather
Wow.
than just like boom, 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 go, boom, boom, boom. Because I thought that this would just like more be a screening process, and I'd have to do callbacks, but I actually had time to work with them. And a friend of mine, Donna Chloe Trice, was on hand to do "What's Your Black Hair Story" interviews with people before I shot them. So that got
Wow.
them warmed up and already thinking and in the mood, and then we took some amazing pictures. So when you were looking at the virtual gallery, you saw the highly styled Afro-futuristic looks, and then more people that you would see walking down the street, right? So a lot of the average people, they're above average because they're in my show, but the people who are not the highly styled ones, a
Mhm.
lot of them came from that Union Station shoot, which was last April. We did the Afrofuturistic looks in one shoot one day in August, excuse me, August 8th, last August. And that was quite a production. I'd probably talk about that as a separate topic, but it was yeah, it was those two major shoots, and then we did several other ones. Like I did some of my backyard. You just saw that image with Nelson. That was in his backyard.
Mhm.
So it's yeah, it was quite a process to create the content. And
Mm.
I intentionally spent I didn't consider anything to be included in the shoot until I got to that phase. It's like to do the
Wow.
curation. It was all about creating content, and really the show was going to be a result of where the content led me.
Wow. Wow. I mean, it is incredible. Again, this is always something that always makes me happy about we photographers or creatives or artists is that an idea drops into your head and you have a decision to make. It's either you pursue it or you dismiss it. And you decided to go after this thought, this black hair? Um, what was it about you that made this your became your primary interest in conveying this information to a community? Because not only that, but your videos also go into a conversation. There's interviews, like you said previously, but you've built this is built out to something really beautiful.
Okay. If I understand your question, um, let me see if I understand your question. So black hair is bigger than the exhibit. Is that the point you're at?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And that so and again, that's a great question because like it's like you had this idea that I had. I felt really great about it, but I talk to friends, people to ask me what I'm working on. Like I wasn't running around like, hey, you know. I did ask some specific people, but other people asked what I'm working on. I'd say black hair, and it's like black hair. Oh my god! And then it would go from there. They would be they would be range, like the reaction would range from delight to they're remembering fond memories to some painful memories,
Mm.
related to their hair. But there was always something there. There's always a reaction, and it wasn't limited just to black people either. Like other people would also like react positively um, to that, and then they would they like, I can't wait to see it, right? And my reaction to that was, neither can I, because of my process. I don't know what it looks like right now either, but I'm excited about it, right?
Wow. So it's almost like you took it's almost like you got this call to do it, and you just step forward to go after it. And as you began to move forward, the pathway became open, and you were able to pick the path and move forward and create accordingly in the
Right.
reaction to the people.
Right. I want to finish. I want to get back to. I want to finish that thought, but I didn't
Yeah.
quite finish the first question.
Go ahead, buddy.
Um, oh, bigger than the exhibit. So the exhibit was up for a month, and
Mhm.
it's at the Crossroads Gallery at the Vin at Embassy Row Hotel back last October.
Mhm.
Um, and the hotel is like bring more people in. Like I can use that space to bring people in, and I brought in lots of groups. I asked friends to bring in groups, and just amazing uh, the reactions to all this. And as you know, like how people relate to your work, react to it, is super super interesting, satisfying, rewarding. And it can be challenging at times, but even
Yeah.
that, like a strong reaction is a good reaction, right?
Mhm.
So that was really cool. But it was, even though I had a month, it was, you couldn't contain all the goodness that could come from this in a month in a physical space.
Yes.
So that's why we did two discussion panels, one on styling as it relates to hair, because the styling that's in the show is interesting. But then I brought in some style professional stylists to talk about their experience in the industry. And separately, we did one on the thesis of that panel is health as it relates
Mhm.
to black hair. But the title of that is "What's Your Black Hair Story?" And I have amazing panelists, and the moderator for that is the great great granddaughter of Madam C.J. Walker, who's a broadcast journalist by trade, and she's just marvelous. So that show, that panel is just amazing. So that's the styling panel,
Wow.
and
How
you can
did you
see it.
find them? How did you know to find these incredible people to put
I,
this together?
I'm telling you, it was ordered by God. I can't explain it any other way. When I needed something or someone, I met them or knew them. Like it was just like, I mean, the next day. And actually, that, like, for the health panel, I did take a different path from the person who was lined up to do that a couple
Yes.
weeks before the panel was going to be taped. Maybe it's a month before, but it was close. Um, and I think the day after we parted ways. Well, I think we parted ways on Thursday. On Sunday, I
Mhm.
met Lelia Bundles. Um, and called her that following week and said, "Hey, I'm working this project." When I met her, I talked about the project. I followed up with her and said, "Hey, would you be interested? Are you available to support this panel?" And she said, "Send me a treatment, and I'll look at it." And I stopped everything. I had the treatment in my head. I hadn't written it out. I wrote it out. I pulled in the other panelists' biographies and pictures and put that all together and sent it to her at like 11:30 at night. And by like 9 o'clock in the morning, she goes, "This looks great. Yes, I'll do it." No, she said, "This looks great." I had to call her back to say, "Does this look great mean that you'll do it?" but
Wow.
but it did. And I just marvelous that she does a really amazing job in this panel. And I'm in the back of the room behind the camera going, "Gee, like I did that." And I pulled this group together, and at the end of this recording, they kind of credit me with that, which I'm like, yeah, that's kind of the way that works. So
Wow.
yeah, really
I
cool.
mean, the women discussion, for those that, make sure if you, the link will be also in the description of this video on YouTube, but it's Black Hair, My Love Letter to Black Culture. And this panel discussion, I'm going to give you, I'm going to cue to right here. And I'm going to see if I can see. Hold on a second. Make sure I get this right cue. I'm going to get this cued right. Here we go. And I'm going to listen to that.
Impactful, I think, in my life. It's freed me up in the mental health space, which is where I work now. I'm the executive director of the Boris Henson Foundation, which you mentioned earlier. We got a lot of stories that come through from folk talking about the whys behind our decisions. We forget that there's a whole ancestral track behind us, and that we're still sort of dealing with and through. But there's an appreciation I think I have in my life now where my decisions aren't just made for me, but I'm releasing something for those who have come behind me. So that's my story. It's still going. I'm not afraid of the voices that I hear anymore. I'm not afraid that people are labeling the voices something, but I know what they are for me when it's attached to hair specifically too. So that's my series of stories.
Right. And you're right. It absolutely is a journey. That what you want at 18, you may want lots of extensions and turquoise hair. That may not be what you want at 40, what you want at 60.
And it's attached to something not just about the way you look.
Right. So mine is very similar to.
This was, when I went through this video, I had to kind of like pause it, stop it. And and we're going to show another clip later on for this young lady talking here. You brought together these amazing people. Where do you see yourself going from here now? Where do you want to take this? Where do you see this in a year, 2 years, 3 years from now? Any platforms, where do you see this going?
So near term, uh, one of the groups I bought into gallery was from Howard University. They invited me to a lovely thing that they did for Dean Felicia Rashad recently, and the organizer for that, for both things, asked me what I was doing next. I said, "Well, I'm looking for opportunities to exhibit Black hair," and she said, "Would you consider Howard?" I'm like, "Yes." So absolutely, the gallery there has shown works from pretty much every preeminent Black artist you can think of.
Yes.
So that would be quite an honor to be counted among them. I'm working with another group to take Black hair to Africa. There's a African Peace and Cultural Festival in Zimbabwe in December. So that's in the works. And there are a couple other museums I'm working with. I've had a hard time with galleries. So just no joy there.
Okay.
And I really thought I had one like queued up, but it's been like, it's just been tough. So I just like, I can't, you can't wait for somebody else's, thing. Just like I can keep charging on, but I'm open to receive my blessings. Like, so if
Yes.
has suggestions, ideas, let me know. Happy to do it.
Omar says, I was part of a similar collaborative for a documentary of BlackHair about 7 years ago. It was a tremendous experience. Well, Marvin, if you ever need people, Omar and I are ready. We're coming. We're coming in. We want to, wherever you can do, how we can help, we will come out and help you. I want to do this one last discussion that was really, really, it meant so much to me in this video, and I'm just going to share it quickly, and we'll take it from there.
Ashley's, in that I was not necessarily a rebel, so different kind of basis. But in high school, I had a relaxer. My mom relaxed my hair, I think, in junior high because I'm terribly, painfully tender-headed, and she just got sick of the bacchanal associated with doing my hair. And so in high school, I toyed around with the idea of going natural, and this was well before it was the norm. And I decided to, but at the very end of school, I finally cut off my perm and I had like a curly fro. And, but I wanted to wear my hair short. And friends of mine asked friends, what do you think? And friends were like, oh, I don't think you should wear your hair short. People like length. And I was just kind of like, okay. So I wore my hair longer, and all through my first year of college, I wore twists and fros and things like that. And at the end of the summer, I just said, this is what I want to do. And I picked my hair out as big as I could. I told my mom, take it in because I'm cutting it off later. And that evening I came home from work and went to my neighbor who was a barber and had him cut everything off. And I remember my mom kind of talking to me about it, saying, well, you might want to wear makeup, you might want to wear big earrings, because she anticipated that I might feel self-conscious about my hair being short. And I had none of that. Like, I remember just being like, this is the most awesome thing. And to still feel so feminine, to still feel so much like me without any of that was amazing. It was an incredible experience. And then, of course, like going through the revolution, kind of watching my peers now coming into this appreciation for natural hair in my young adulthood was awesome. I had locks after that for 12 years, and I cut them off after I had my son. And when I cut them off, I realized I had to relearn how to style my hair, my like free hair. And going to the stores, now there was, aisles of hair products. Back when I started, it was Lisa Price, Carol's daughter, at the African Arts Fair in Brooklyn selling her stuff. You know what I mean? Like, there was nothing in the stores. It was an amazing experience to see the wealth of information that was available, YouTube videos, all the things that helped me to kind of relearn how to do this. And it was a beautiful thing, just appreciating how far we've come and how accessible the information is now.
There we go. Okay, so this way, there's so much more to this video, and let me just pop this in here. Let me pop this down, and there we go. Here we go. And Marvin, like, again, do you get letters or DMs from people that express their feelings about this whole campaign, this whole exhibition that you put on?
I've gotten some lovely comments. Yes.
What kind of comments did you get?
Well, thank you for seeing us. Thank you for taking the time to do this work. Thank you for the work. Or they'll relay some story, like their BlackHair story.
Mm-hmm.
There's a curator here in town who works for one of the agencies in the district government, and we've known each other for years. So I really didn't know much about her personally, and she just gave me this long thing about her hair. I didn't like she's her mother's white. She's biracial. I didn't know she was biracial. And she talks like she has like 3 different textures of hair on her head and all this. And like over the years, people used to use her as a guinea pig because she
Wow.
out with different textures, but she always had a lot of
Right.
hair. She said her mother, bless her heart, didn't know what to do with her hair. So hair she had that problem. But she said to like kind of like not leave that message. She said she was the most amazing mother she could imagine, and went over how much time and care her mother spent with her, even though she couldn't do her hair. But it was like I get choked up. It was a lovely story, and I
Wow.
didn't know that. So that's what kind of topic this is, though. It's people it just touches them. So
When I saw this project, it took me back. My family is very much into hair. My sister, my cousins, one of my cousins, she's a hairstylist, and I've been following her journey since we were teenagers. She used to, yes, I used to have hair. She braided my hair all the time. And created all kinds of different types of cornrows. And same thing with my sister. She did everybody's hair in the family. And in Black culture, hair is such there's so much that goes into hair. It's the time where, you sit down with family members like my cousin. We will sit in the house and we're watching TV. And someone doing your hair is such a intimate connection with someone that is taking time out to show you love and care while they do your hair.
right.
And all of this, I mean, there's so many levels to this project. One is the personal minds, reminders to ourselves of how much hair means to us as a people. But also you see the levels of the creativity, and everyone, I mean, you put it into futuristic, you put it into ancestry. There's so many levels of this project. I'm hoping that there's a section somewhere at the African Heritage Museum in DC that this will be a part of it. I really believe that is such because they're missing that little piece. This
Yeah.
will be a good piece for
For
the American Heritage Museum, African American Museum.
from your mouth to God's ears. I have to figure out how to make that happen. You're not the first person to say that, and it's a high praise, So thank you for that. To think that the work is of that caliber, but it's solid. Let me. I have 2 things I want to talk about. So one, a friend of mine, I mentioned the groups of people who came, bought a group of her like very close friends. One of them being a Nigerian prince. I kid you not. And he is this tall man, deep voice, but he's very insightful and very talk about intentional about what he did. He went image to image to image and would relate from his point of view as an African. He could relate it back to like the like being on the ships coming over, being like I'm failing on like remembering exactly what he said, but it was relating back to Africa, relating back to the Central Passage, relating back to struggling here from the work. So again, like something like this one piece that so many people can relate to, like meaningfully, is that's a good piece, right? But it's I think storytelling at a high level, which is kind of cool.
Wow. We're gonna end it. We're gonna get ready to end in about 10 minutes. But what would you tell yourself at 16 if you had to go back in time and you can go to your 16-year-old self and all of the wisdom that you've gathered all of these years, either with photography, that's the old Air Force, all the things you've done to make Marvin Marvin, because Marvin is amazing. What would you tell your 16-year-old self?
So you'd like to say I wouldn't change anything. Um, but honestly, it would have been no, to be honest, it would have, I would say uh, do what you're drawn to do,
Mm,
and not work for other people. Don't work for other people. I because other people good other people are good at extracting from you what they need from you,
mm,
right? And they'll suck you dry and kick you aside in most cases. So not all cases.
mhm.
Um, but you if so the question is so I guess the result is, so if I'd done what I wanted to do, would I be who I am now? No. Would I be better, different? Who knows? Like you can't. So you
Yes,
can't. You can't uh, second guess things like that and have regret. It's like, what are you going to do
yes,
tomorrow? Like if you feel this way now, what are you going to do tomorrow? So I again, so the decisions I made got me to where I could retire early and do what
yes.
I want to do, and yeah, and without changing my lifestyle, right?
Wow,
So that's a huge blessing, and that is based on the decisions I made when I was 16.
wow.
Um, uh, but yeah, I mean, it would have been cool if, like, I took acting classes when I was 16.
Mhm.
But like my parents is like, men work, women can study the arts. Period. Like that was
Right.
really is an opportunity. So, but I got me safely to where I could be um, now and do what I want to do and create and put beauty back out in the world. So that's
Wow. Well, your final thoughts.
I got.
What do you want to leave with the community?
Well, I wanted to talk about curation for a bit for
Yeah, go
this.
ahead.
So I mentioned earlier that I was going to let um, life experience, the opportunities, like guide the content creation phase of this. Um, you said I'm a stickler for detail, but it's like the how things are displayed is just like super important to me, and I do want that to be very clear. And I had this set of the highly styled Afro futuristic looks, and then I had all the other pieces. And there's one piece that I had in mind when I started that I had to do, and that was the Adam and Eve pieces. And
Yes.
those are the only ones that I had in my head. Everything else came as a result of what I was doing. Um, and I didn't want to do two shows. I didn't want to have a part A and a part B. I wanted to have a cohesive show.
Yes.
So it's like, how do I do that? And then how do I title these pieces? I knew like the Afrofuturistic looks in particular. Like, how do I title these? Because the titles and all that, in my mind, has to hold together somehow. And I spent I don't know how many hours, over about 2 weeks before I got to an answer to do that, to do the titling, to do the curation, to figure out what order they go in, and to answer that question. I'm looking at you sit there and you do this too. You sit there and look at something on your screen and go, what is this a picture about? What is it?
Mhm.
So as a group, I was doing that. I said, they're all like really strong. They have personality. They have character. They have like look at you from their expressions. You're looking at them and like they're speaking to you.
Yes.
Like, you know what? These are characters. They're absolutely characters.
Yes.
So I read a short story, and it's called "Save the Queen." So then from there, it's like they're roles in my story. They have roles in my story. So that's where the titles come from. That's where the order comes from. For
Wow.
for the Afrofuturistic looks. And then,
Yeah.
but then from that story, I could merge them with the other one. So you have to, when you go through the exhibit, you don't get to the end of the story until the end of the last image in the show, basically.
Wow. Wow. And I see Derek here says, Derek is asking a question. If you have a question, guys, you can put a Q and then put your question there, or like Derek did with a pound. He said, do you continue to act as well as your photography?
Yes, I do. I'm currently playing Judge Dupree in Hush, which is running on All Black TV, so ALLBLK.TV. We're in our second season. I don't know if I don't know if there's going to be a third season or if I'm going to be included in it, because I was one of, I think, 7 characters who got shot up and or dead in the season finale.
No.
But yes, so if you have any roles out there that you think I'd be suitable for, hit me up.
Derek is from that. He is truly from that background. Derek is acting and all that whole thing. He was with the acting guild when they were on strike, and yeah. Thanks,
Yep.
Derek, for that question.
I'm SAG too. Yep.
Any other questions out there before we head on out of here? Man, Marvin, you bless my heart today. In the South they say bless my heart, and it's usually a negative thing. And well, we Northerners, we say bless your heart, that's bless your heart. But this is, you bless my heart today to hear your story, to learn so much more about you. It goes to show you that each one of us is like an onion or a flower, and there's layers. We just have to peel back and get to know one another. And you've given such great insight to what you do. This project, I think, is it has become dear to me. And I hope whatever I can do to get it out there here in New York, or some of the people that I know, I'm going to kind of like push that. But it is really a beautiful, beautiful piece of work, and you are to be commended in the work which you put into that. And any final thoughts? You get the final word, sir.
I do have a final thought. Can I grab one of the pieces to show?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, guys, this is awesome. This is why we do Wisdom Wednesdays. I hope someone in here is walking away a little bit more inspired to do the thing that you're called to do, and to do what you love.
I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier, but this is one of the pieces.
Yes.
You'll recognize the. Let me see if I can do this without trying.
Yeah, we can see it. It's good.
All the pieces are reverse printed on acrylic, so it's got with the French cleat. So that's the piece. There's no paper.
Let me go back to that. Hold on a second. There you go.
You see it? So it's quarter inch thick acrylic. So they're very cool, and the colors and the textures just really pop on these.
Wow. Yeah. So check out his store. His store is incredible. It has a lot of the work from the exhibition. There are also limited editions, and he has amazing work from. I'm just go real quick because I want to just show it. Let me see. Where's the gallery? Where's my guy? Let me do it real quick, and then I gotta get off here because I know we gotta get off because we have time constraints, because we're gonna be on our. This will be on rerun on Indie Soup Media later on at 4:00. But this is all his amazing work in his store. This, guys, you will be intrigued by this work, and put it on your wall. Again, I always say, how do you support photographers and creatives? Purchase their work. It means the world to them and the world to us, and you can make a difference in their lives by supporting them. I hear Omar says, beautifully served, Marvin. Salute, my friend.
Thank you, Omar. Appreciate it.
Kaz Lou sends some applause. Kimmy Kim sends some applause. If you like this interview, this really chat. I try not to use interview. I like to just say we're just having a conversation.
Yeah.
And if you enjoyed this conversation with Marvin, send some likes. Put some likes on the board. Put some likes on the board. And
please share the BlackHair, my love letter to Black culture.
Yes,
that would
yes,
be
please share it. Please share it. And also Omar says, imagine if I had hair, I could have been photographed by Marvin Bowser.
Hold on, go look at the collection. The Red King is bald. So
so we bald heads have a moment.
Oh, that's a hair story. It's a hair story.
It is a hair story. Yes. Well, guys, this was absolutely wonderful. Again, Anthony sending some applause as well, another photographer. Guys, thank you for joining us today. Marvin, thank you so much. This means the world to me, and I know it meant the world to so many here. So thank you.
Ron, thank you. And I thoroughly enjoyed talking with everybody. So thanks for the opportunity. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome. So guys, we're out of here. I'd hate when we have to leave. This is one of those days we need to do overtime.
It went by too quick.
It goes by very quick. It goes by very quick, bro. It goes by very quick. Okay, guys, we're out of here.
Right.
I'll see you tomorrow with Chris and myself. We'll be talking politics and all the other stuff. But anyway, guys, have a great Wednesday and spread some wisdom.
Great.